Good morning, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Jerry Ziegenfuss. I'm calling in from Parrish, Florida, and I know somebody knows where that is. And I'm so happy to welcome everyone to our Monday morning miracle call. I'm sending a special welcome out to our new people. And I really, really, really encourage you new people to speak up. We don't bite. We're really anxious to hear from you. And if you've had any results, really, there's probably somebody on here just waiting and waiting to hear that desperately needs your result. So if you don't mind speaking up, we'd appreciate it. We are a family and want to try to help everyone here. So to do that, please raise your hand. At the bottom of your screen, there's a reaction button. When you click on it, it'll say raise my hand. On the phone, it's a little difficult. I know when I have mine, I have to keep touching and touching until it comes up. And I'm sorry, I don't know how the iPads work. But, just raise your hand. And if for some reason you can't raise your hand when there's a lull, please just shout out. We'd like to hear your results. And that's what this call is about. So please limit the first 15 minutes of this call to X39, which I like to call our go-to patch because that's the one you put on. But in addition to that now, we have had results with Celergize, and it is working to enhance the patch. And we've had so many good results and people telling us about Celergize. So that's kind of like our first 15 minutes, and then we open it up to the other patches. So please stay compliant. Please don't mention diseases, diagnoses that your doctors may have been given to you. Tell us your symptoms, and most of the time we're going to know what you're talking about. And when you do, come on, tell us what's going on with you, how long you've had the patch on, maybe which patch, and how long you've even been with LifeWave. Love to hear from you. So please keep your testimonies to about 30 seconds to a minute because there's going to be a lot of hands up and we want to hear from everybody. And if you have a few, come on back on later and we'll call you again. So as I say, we don't claim to treat, cure, or diagnose any condition that is out there. So I don't see any hands up yet. So I guess that means, yay, John, I knew you'd come to the rescue. John, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Jerry. Yes. I've been a user for 2 years on the X39, the X49, and I use Eon also. And what it's done for me, besides giving me some tremendous energy, and I
John, you're frozen. Maybe you're going to have to come back in, John. I don't think I'm the only one that can't hear you, and you're kind of like still. So I'll continue here with a sheet that one of my customers had sent me, one of my brand partners, and her husband is 82 years old, and he used to have to take a nap, and he used to drink a lot of coffee. I'll get to you, Brad, just to get the energy during the day. So the very first day he wore the patches, she said, he was very energetic and he didn't need that nap anymore. And his coffee consumption has gone way down. So that's her first one. But now let's go to Brad. Brad, please unmute. Let us hear yours.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to start out with I had some major hip pain. I figured I was going to need a hip replacement. It was that bad. I was fighting it for about 3 to 4 years.
I mentioned option 2.
And
Did
then
you not
Sunshire, please
message?
limit. Sunshire, please mute.
So I actually used several patches, but I X39, X49, Eon, and a lot of LifeWave or a lot of IceWave. But over time, and this is the key, is over time, over about 6 months, that pain moved into my back, and I keep using X39 and Celergize now, and I have almost no pain at all. I mean, I was popping Aleve and Advil like left and right before I found the patches. So
Wow.
very blessed.
And how long now on the patches?
I believe now we're probably looking about 9 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now with the pain, it's completely gone?
It's almost completely gone. I barely even notice it anymore.
Wow. And did you find out that when you added the Celergize, you got more relief?
I don't know if it was more relief. It's certainly, yeah, I think actually probably a little bit more because I'm not using the X30 or the X49 anymore. I just use the X39. So I went down
Okay,
to basically one patch now,
great.
and I
Okay,
almost never use the Ice Wave for anything anymore.
okay. Wonderful results. Thank you so much, Brad. Kate, Miss Kate, please unmute.
Good morning, all. I'll go back to my first use of X39 3.5 years ago. That first day, I was obsessed with trying to figure out, am I really feeling something? Or is it that patch? Am I imagining it? It was the biggest sense of well-being I've ever felt in my entire life. It was palpable. I felt so different. And what happened right after that were little lines across my forehead. And then these little lines, they just melted away really quickly, so fast. I was so surprised. But my big first payoff was the upper arms from the elbows up. Had something that the dermatologist said was hereditary. They were bumps, they were pointed, they were red. It hurt to have clothes on over my arms. And I waited for him to tell me what to do about it. And he said, "Oh, there's nothing you can do about it." Until the patches find you. And then that just calmed, went away, melted away. And that was my first big payoff with the patches with X39. I am ever so grateful.
Thank you so
lot
much
more
for sharing,
happened.
Kate. I know. We'll get you next time. Thank you. Gwen, please unmute.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So I've been using the patches since early this spring. So I was grafted on my right arm, and I had a lot of restriction on my arm, and I couldn't straighten out my arm without a lot of restriction, a lot of pain. I had mobility issues. I couldn't straighten out my arm. After using the patches, I don't know, probably 2 months, all of a sudden one day I noticed that I could straighten out my arm, and I was like, whoa, I had no restrictions. And I just thought, this is crazy, because I always had the tightness. I couldn't straighten my arm out without the pain of feeling like my arm was going to rip open kind of feeling. And so that's gone. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. And I know people are wondering, where did you place your patch?
I placed the X39 on the back of my neck. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Right.
And as she's saying that, and just know, especially our new people, it works systemically. So she put it on her neck, but it's going to go to where her body needed it the most. And obviously it was your arm, Gwen. So that's wonderful results. So thank you. And you were consistent, right? You stayed on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. That's the other part, consistency. Thank you, Gwen. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Vicki, please unmute.
Hello,
Hi.
I am Vicki from Salt Lake. In fact, I just live 3 exits from the Welcome Center, which I'm excited to go to. I started the patches back on June 14th, me and my husband both. I've got bone on bone and lots of pain, and have been icing and Tylenol quite a bit. And since I've been patching, I've not needed to ice or use Tylenol or anything. I still have a ways to go, but I'm going to do it. My husband just noticed a couple weeks ago that his feet don't tingle anymore. They've tingled for years, which is pretty amazing.
It is.
And then also, I get a chance to water ski still in Montana about once every other year. And this year I got right up. I skied for 4 or 5 different times throughout the week. I never had any pain whatsoever. And then just the other day, I was walking up my stairs in my garage into the house, and I tripped on the landing and hit my shin really hard, and I got this huge lump. So I took the X39 off my neck and put it on the lump, and the next day it was gone. And right now it's just a little tiny tender with a little bit of yellow bruising, but I am a bruiser. So this is pretty amazing that I haven't bruised. So, and then
Wow.
also with Celergize, I'm down 4 pounds. I'm not even really trying. I just feel like I have more energy, and my husband and I both really love it. So we're pretty excited.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure we're going to be
those,
lifers. Oh, and I'm made manager.
oh, congratulations. Those were terrific shares. And yeah, I
Thanks.
wish I was that close so I could go to the home office. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks so
thank you.
much.
And it sounds like with all those results, Vicky, you're going to be a lifer like me and a lot of
Well,
us. So
I'm
keep doing
planning
it.
on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dashenko, unmute. Come on in. There
So
you are.
there I am. I just heard the share with someone who said that they were wondering if it was working. It reminded me that September 1st of 2022 is when I first put on X39. And the day before, and for some time before, I had had so much pain in my knees that it was painful to walk just 10 steps. I couldn't do that without taking 25 minutes and being in excruciating agony. And September 1st, put on the patches, and I was walking all around asking myself, are these working? Are these doing anything? I can't tell. Am I wasting my money? And about 15 days later, my morning routine got interrupted. I didn't put them on. About 10:45, 11 o'clock, the pain that had kept me from walking started creeping back. And I said, oh, these work so well. They took away not only my pain, they took away the memory that I had been in pain just the day before. So if anyone ever says, are these working? I say, listen, you're talking to someone who went from not being able to walk to walking and didn't notice.
Right.
You just keep taking them. And then after 90 days, you stop. And then you tell me they aren't working.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dashenko, because yeah, keep doing it. It's the consistency and the cumulative effect and everything. And like, it's not so much that it takes away your memory, but when we're feeling good, we don't think about when we're bad. Because my father, whom you all know, was in the 90s, and all of a sudden he was with me listening to this call. And one of the women says about the tingling in her ear. And he looked at me and says, oh, that's been gone for a while. So you don't really, you don't remember how bad you were or how you hurt. So yeah.
And what I was pointing to is that usually when you have pain, it's like gradually better. You know, like it's better, but there's like twinges.
Yeah.
And for me, there was nothing. It was dramatic.
Thank you. Yeah, and we applaud that. Thank you so much, Dashenko. Rose, please unmute.
Hi, this is Cindy Bailey. I'm at Rose's house in Mesa, Arizona.
Welcome, Cindy.
Hi. So X39, probably one of the biggest things that I noticed using X39 for about a year and a half now is my collagen production. I never could grow nails. Never. They were so thin and brittle and just horrible. Now I have nails, so you know the collagen is working, right? The skin is better, all that. But then Cellergize came on them. Oh my gosh, up a level 2, 3, 4. No kidding. So the combination of X39 and Cellergize is a winner.
Yeah, thank you
One
so
new
much.
one for X39. I pinched my thumb really bad with a pliers yesterday. So I ran and I got my X39 and I taped it on that. Went away. Nothing there, nothing.
Yeah.
Powerful patch.
It is. Thank you so much. Way to go. And yes, that combination of X39 and Cellergize is the results we're seeing. So thank you so much.
Amazing.
Casey, hi. Come on in.
Hello there. Well, I've been wearing the X39 almost 4 years, and then when X49 came out, I do the performance, so I use both of them. And you know, through the years, I've gotten so I burned myself a couple times and did some goofy things, and the patches always came through. But Friday, 3 days ago, it saved me from something potentially catastrophic. I was assaulted at a gas station or a Sam's Club. I was literally attacked and assaulted, and the guy pushed me so hard that I fell back. Had I fallen straight back, I would have injured my back, my head, but angels came by and twisted my body a little bit, and I ended up on my left side, and I got a got a contusion on my knee and got some colorful bruises and stuff like that. But you know, it happened so fast. And Dr. Tom last night said, when you're a little bit older and you fall, you're probably going to break something. I'm fine. I came home, I was wearing my X39 and my X49, but then I wallpapered, I put Eon, I put everything I had.
Yep. Mhm.
I wasn't going to take any chances. And here I am 3 days later, and I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you so much, Casey. I heard you last night too, so thanks for coming on this call and saying it's great. Yeah, I know when I fractured my pelvis so badly and everything, I wallpapered and then 8 months later fell and face planted. I did the same thing. So a lot of them help, don't they, Casey?
Well, it's just really good to have people say, okay, I didn't have anything major in those 3 or 4
Right.
years. This one was major. I am so grateful.
Thank you. And we're going to start with, I'm sorry, Heidi. Oh, Heidi, it's Heidi, but I'm opening it up to all the patches too now. So Heidi, please come on.
Good morning. I was reminded when listening to Dushenka's testimonial of my first experience, my first night wearing X39. I didn't know that it could be worn during the day. I just saw one of these podcasts in the evening and was working, and I slapped it right on my my belly next to a scar. But my testimonial is related to having childhood recurring nightmares. And I started wearing X39 in 2022, and I won't ever go a night without it because I love having dreams now.
Wonderful. Yeah. At X39, it goes to where you need it the most. And I'm so happy that you're dreaming again. Great way to share your night. Thank you, Heidi. Helen, come on in.
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is a first aid thing. So yesterday, my husband got stung by a hornet or a wasp. I don't know which one, but it was like, real pain immediately. Bam, X39 with glutathione right over it. Within seconds, no pain again ever. So remember your first aid kits to start to put some of those patches in. Then the other thing is, I know Sunshower was not able to smell her whole life, but I could smell for like maybe, I don't know, 30 something years. Then something happened where I got nasal polyps. Now I had a surgery, they got removed, they started growing back in 2 years. Nothing has helped. I've just lived with it until now. And I have been using a lot of the patches for, almost 6 years. So I just want to say, the last physical I went to, the doctor said, keep doing what you're doing. I'm 75, no drugs, no, everything's normal in great order. Yay. We know why, right? But I just want to say, but the polyps are starting to not dissolve. That's my visualization, but they are, moving out, and I am able to smell more. So I know when you hear Sunshower say that, it's like, yay, she can smell. But I want to tell you the impact of being able to smell. You feel safer because you could tell, is there smoke? Is there not? So it's huge. And I just want to give kudos to Sunshower for sharing that story, because it is life-changing. I'm so grateful I can smell again.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Helen. Allie, please unmute.
I've been using the patches for 3 years. I'm a metaphysical minister, and what's extraordinary the last few days is all of my energy is making things work. I have a brand new computer. I couldn't get anything to work, and yesterday everything's working the way it's supposed to. And then I notice everything in my whole world is working. So it doesn't just change what you notice physically, it also impacts you energetically.
Right. I know. Thank you so much, Allie. Glad you're doing so well. Lavelle, please unmute.
Good morning. Yeah, I shared this yesterday on the Doc Talk about a 98-year young woman. She was on oxygen. She had an irregular heartbeat. She didn't have enough blood going through her body to meet her body's needs. And she went to see her doctor after a year and a half. Now she's been on the products. Her doctor said her heart is the best it's ever been. She's no longer on oxygen. She actually had swollen legs where she couldn't walk, actually, and no more swelling. She's up. She's up walking around. She doesn't need her blood pressure medicine anymore, has more energy than she's ever had. And now she did use a cocktail of X39, X49, harnessine, Eon, energy, and glutathione. So we call that the wallpaper. And I even have a picture of her. I don't know if you can let me share that picture. Can I share that picture?
Sure, if you can bring it up
If
real
you
quick.
if you can make me a co-host, I'll pull it up. for
Oh,
you
I
real quick.
can't do that from where I am, so
Okay.
sorry.
Well, she is I'm telling you, oh my gosh, she doesn't look nowhere like she right up in her 70s, and she's almost 100 now, 98 years old. Just amazing.
Yeah. And to what you're speaking with, yes, my father, he was 2 weeks from 98, and he was on the patches for 3 years. And his cardiologist has had his heart was better than when they put the pacemaker in 8 years before. And he had so many results, a keloid and a great big scar in the front of his body was gone, and on and on. So this just isn't for the young people. You know, this is for everyone. So thank you, Lavelle.
Thank you.
Dashenko, what do you have for us this time?
I used Silent Night the other night for the first time. Ever since I started with X39, when I put my head on the pillow, I go immediately to sleep. So I was like, I don't need Silent Night, I'm fine. But a couple nights in a row, it's not that my brain has been active, but I just had like pain that was keeping me awake. Like I'd be about to fall asleep and then I'd notice, oh, I hurt, ow. And I had vertigo. Like the world was spinning. And so I put Silent Night on and I was gone for like 8 hours.
Really?
I woke up so rested and so happy. And yay for
Well, that's
Silent
wonderful.
Night.
And if anybody else is going to try the Silent Night, Dashenko had wonderful, wonderful results, but sometimes it takes about 3 or 4 of those till it gets into your body and you start feeling the effects. So don't give up. So thank you, Dashenko. Okay, Stacy, please unmute.
Hello, everyone. So my in-laws, they came and visited us this past weekend, and we all got in the car. And my mother-in-law, I've been working with her about hydrating. She's very bad about drinking water. She's 78 years old. But anyway, we were sitting there from, I don't know, in the vehicle, maybe 3 minutes, and all of a sudden she just had cramps in her bad knee. So I pulled out my little pouch that I have some patches in, and I got the ice waves. And she told me where the worst pain was. So we put the tan one there. And then the white one, I moved around the clockwork. I only had to move it 2 times. And she put it there. And I don't know, maybe 30 seconds later, she goes, it's gone. So, but we were telling her, hydrate. You have to hydrate. But it did take away the pain. And I've experienced that myself too, with not drinking enough years and years ago. So, drank some stuff down, still had the patches on, and it worked. So drink the water.
Right, exactly. And what Stacy is saying, and it's so true, please, everybody says hydrate, but rule of thumb, what that is, it's 50% of your body weight in ounces. And even as Dr. Barbara says, a little bit more, because, you know, if you're having caffeine and different things like that, it really negates the water that's going in anyway. So yes, please hydrate because it makes them work better. So Gwen, please unmute.
Hi. Since we're talking about other patches, I thought I would share the one about I had a plantar fasciitis on my left foot and I had a bone spur. And so I was using the X39, and then about 3.5 weeks later, I went down to visit my friend, and she put the ice wave on the top of my left foot, the brown one on the top of my left foot. and the white one underneath it, and then put an Eon just up above my ankle bone. And within, I don't know, but within 15 minutes, my pain was about a 10 plus, and it went down to about a 2.5, somewhere around 2 probably. And she said, okay, get up and just walk. And I got up and walked across the floor, and my pain had gone down significantly.
Wow.
So, yeah. And so I use the Ice Wave and the Eon for 5 days in a row, left it on for 24 hours. And now I can walk across the floor without any shoes on, and I can walk barefoot again. I'm not limping, which I was doing, and I had a couple shots of a cortisone before, which didn't work, and so I now have no pain on that foot.
Right.
It's
Great.
huge. So
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, since you brought up Eon, and I'll just bring up a quickie. I was in the kitchen the other night and had the dishwasher door down. And my husband came walking in and walked right into it with his shin. And he was wincing in pain. And I'm telling him to go put a patch. And he's saying, no, no, no. I says, go. And he wears X39 during the day. I says, go put an Eon on. So he went back, and it's not that far to the bathroom. And he came back out and he said, the pain's gone. So, yeah. And the Eon will target immediately, but I'm glad the Ice Waves work too. So, yes.
Yeah.
Here, Gwen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Allie, what else do you have for us?
Well, I'm used to having my hair going back dark. I had a lot of stress in the last month. My hair went white, and now it's going dark again.
Wow. And that's pretty quick. So yeah, great. Okay, so no more hands. So I will go into doggies. I am a dog person, big time. And my previous dog was had eye stuff just streaming out of his eye. And he was on Apoquel forever. And I went and I took the Use X39, put it right behind the collar, didn't have to put her on Apoquel. And then we get these thunderstorms, which we've been getting for months now in Florida. And I used the Eon, and he was fine with it. But I have one of my my brand partners. She had a 6-month-old pit bull. They got stamped on by a horse in their place. And it had been limping for years and years. It's 6.5 years old. And she put her used one on, and 2 days later, she sent me a video of it running around. So those used ones, if you have animals, just stick them on. It's going to help. And we're almost to the bottom of the hour. So Brad, you want to finish us off today?
Sure. Since you brought up dogs, I have an older dog who was starting to lose energy, and she was walking very stiff in the hindquarters. I use an X39 every day, wrap it around the little collar, put the collar back on, and it was almost immediate, the difference. She's back to lots of energy and running around, and we go on long walks. So they do work on animals very, very well.
And I'll give you one that was kind of dire. I met a gentleman a couple years ago at one of our conventions, and we got to talking, and his dog, the neighbor had put rat poison out around the house, and the dog got into it, and it was bad. And they ran it to the vet, and the vet tried. He says, I can't really do anything. You're not going to be able to save him. I says, but right now I can't do anything. Can you bring him back later tonight? And I think it was like about 4 or 5 o'clock, I think he said. So they went home, and they're sitting around. He went and he got an X39. He put the X39 on the dog, and it wasn't too long later, and the dog started walking around, then started to run. And then later he got a phone call, and it was the vet. He says, I thought you were bringing your dog over. I says, he's fine. He's running around and playing. So cheers for X39 for our furry friends. So thank you so much. Gregory, you want to end us here now? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. And thank you, everyone, for sharing all these wonderful stories. Isn't this a great way to start our Monday? I want to share something. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And some of you probably saw it that get our text messages. But let's see, share screen, share screen. And we have a new announcement. Thank you, Beamy, for being on me. She is saying, Gregory, we need a flyer for Monday morning that we can share. So we finally pulled one together. We're going to make a few more modifications. I think we need to let everybody know that you, Jerry, and along with Beamy and Michelle and Sunflower are our 4 rotating hosts. So I think we'll put, our hosts above so they understand why your videos are there. But this is available. We'll put it in the Facebook group. We'll put it in the news section, what's new in Live Younger Success. So you can download this and load up the calls with your prospects, your customers, your friends. So really happy to have these calls growing. We're over 170 today. Maybe we'll get it over 200 by next week. But I just want everyone to know that this new flyer is now available, and it's the same one every week. So we didn't date it. So you can use it week in, week out. And we will have a slightly enhanced one over the next few days or by next week. But this one works, and I'm glad we have it. And again, thank you, Beamy, for being on me to do that. And thank
Gregory,
you.
Gregory,
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt just for a moment. It's Michelle, because you said next week we may have 200, but next week's Labor Day.
Well,
So
next week we won't have 200.
Right. We're not going to have any. Everyone's going to be doing something else, probably.
That's right. Well, next week we're going to take Monday morning off.
But thank you, Gregory, for doing this. It's really nice. We
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
thank you
thank
everyone for doing this. And Robin, do you have some announcements you want to make for tonight?
Sure, and thank you for that great flyer, and thank you, Beamy. Yes, it's teamwork makes the dream work. So we're so grateful to work with all of you, and wonderful stories, Jerry. Great job. Thank you, thank you. I just want to say tomorrow night we have the blessing of Dr. Velvet hosting Dr. Pam. Boy, is that going to be wonderful. We love sharing the wisdom from our great community. And tonight we're working on getting some participation from people that were in Denmark at that historic event with LifeWave. So we will see if we can get some of them on tonight. Some of them are back, some aren't. So we'll see what we can do here. Anyway, have a wonderful Monday. Thank you. Yeah, we were up to 185 today. Is what I noticed, but
Right.
it's fun to share this, and Doc Talk can, for those of you that are going for the cruise, loading up the Monday morning and the Sunday evening will get you there quicker. Okay? And share it with everybody. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Have a wonderful, wonderful beginning of your week, the last week in August. I know that's hard to believe. Kids are even back at school.
Thanks,
Oh my God.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Jerry.
Wonderful call. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Casey, healing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Love you all. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.